Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. My name's Glenn. This is my cryptocurrency channel called Glen. I'm trying to share with you guys what I learn on a day-to-day basis in the world of cryptocurrency. Today we're going to be looking at a topic that I've been thinking about the last couple of days, and that is how much does it actually cost to mine one whole Bitcoin in 2018? So let's do some research and find out. God, I had to take this jumper off. It is boiling today. So before we get into the actual main content of the video, just wanted to say head on over to my channel Glen on YouTube, click the subscribe button down below if you want to see more content from me. We generally talk about different topics that are going on in the world of cryptocurrency each day. There's no shilling. I'm not trying to push anything on anyone. It's just stuff that I have discovered along the way. So if you want to join me on that journey, please click the subscribe button. Also give this video a thumbs up if you like this style of content. I really appreciate it and it helps the channel grow. Right, so the reason I wanted to actually do these calculations was I actually started off by doing cloud mining through websites like Hashflare and Genesis Mining. If you've been in the cryptocurrency space for a little while, you probably have heard of either of these companies. Now they offer mining at an upfront cost, then whatever your hash power that you buy manages to mine within a space of 24 hours, they will pay you that in that currency. So in this example on this website, you can see here, Hashflare pay me on average within a 24-hour window 0.00120151 of a Bitcoin. So that's about 121,000 Satoshis, which is the single unit of a Bitcoin. But unfortunately, the actual maintenance fee, the cost of what the company charge, Hashflare, what they take from you as a percentage, is actually more than 100% at the moment. It's something like 110%. Now, this has meant anyone who's got a Hashflare contract at the moment is earning no money or Bitcoin at all. So at these current levels, if nothing was to change, if Bitcoin stayed the same price and the difficulty stayed the same, the rest of my contract would be actually in negative. In theory, I would owe them money, but Hashflare don't actually deduct any money from anyone. So currently I have a balance, as you saw there, of 0.0219 of a Bitcoin. That remains the same until my contract comes to an end. Now this got me thinking, how much does it actually cost to mine one whole Bitcoin if a big company like Hashflare are currently running at a negative value? Now, the current price of Bitcoin is around $6,000 as of recording this video. So this would suggest to me one Bitcoin would cost more than $6,000 to mine. But obviously I can't go on whatever this company is saying, because obviously they have to factor in property costs, staff costs, electricity, the machines themselves, marketing and advertising, the website maintenance, all these sort of costs that obviously for you and me as an average Joe trying to mine one whole Bitcoin from home, we wouldn't have those costs. So I'm going to look at what it costs the average person like you and me to mine one whole Bitcoin. Now, there's a few things that obviously we do have to take into account. One, we have to take into account the cost of the machines themselves, because we're going to be buying them out of our own money. Secondly, obviously the electricity costs of what it costs to run these machines continuously all day, every day, for however long it takes us to mine one whole Bitcoin. Thirdly, you have to look at the pool fees, so what it costs to join a pool, which we'll get into that in a second, and obviously be part of their collective club, putting all our hash power together. How much do they deduct from us as a fee? So they're sort of the main three costs of a Bitcoin mining operation. So I'm going to be looking at those now. Now, one of the biggest deciding factors on how much it costs to mine one Bitcoin is actually the electricity cost. The actual machine themselves are pretty much a set price, normally in US dollars, or you can actually buy them through the Bitmain website for cryptocurrencies. But what will be different, you watching this video, depending on what country you're from, what your average electricity costs are. So what will be different from person to person watching this video is their electricity costs. So let's have a little look at what the average electricity costs are from several countries, so we can get an idea of a really good average electricity cost. I'll do all my calculations based on that, And for you watching this video, if you're thinking, yeah, but Glenn, I only pay this much electricity in my country, then just change these calculations that I'm about to do to suit your electricity costs. At first, I've searched up in America, because a lot of these websites I'm about to use actually ask you in US dollar how much it costs to run in electricity. So let's base their average US price, which is 12 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's pretty cheap from America, in my opinion. So that's what they pay. But obviously I'm based in Great Britain, so obviously I have to look at European prices. So if you're watching this video and you're also from Europe, you'll see that there's a massive discrepancy between different countries. So this is a list of 2017 average electricity prices in Europe. So you can see at the top here, Denmark with the highest, unfortunately, sorry Denmark, they have kilowatt per hour price of 30.5 cents. Now that's in euros, bear that in mind. But the lowest is actually Bulgaria, so well done Bulgaria. Theirs is 9.6 euro cent per kilowatt per hour. So you have to say there, the average out of all of these countries, the top being 30 and the bottom being just under 10, you would say that the average European price is around 20 euro cent. Now if we do 20 euro cent into US dollar, you're looking at $23. That's the average price we pay in Europe, averagely across all the different countries. It's obviously a lot higher, pretty much double the cost. Now this is going to play a vital role in how much it costs you to mine one whole Bitcoin, because already our cost to mine one Bitcoin in electricity terms has doubled from one country to another. So let's take an average overall of what the average American would pay and the average European would pay. So you're looking at between 12 and 23. So I'm going to base this video on my calculations in US dollar cent terms of an average of what an American and a European person would pay electricity watch per kilowatts per hour. So with European one being an average of 23 cents and the average American paying 12 cents, I would say a fair in the middle would be 18 cents in US dollar terms per kilowatt per hour. So I hope you all agree with me on that, that's a decent average. Quite a lot of countries there. Obviously if you're in, there are other countries which obviously have dramatically lower electricity costs, and they're the places where you want to go. But we're going to base this obviously as an average from Europe to USA, what it would cost to mine one whole Bitcoin. So we've worked out our average electricity cost. Now we need to look at the hardware. So where do we go for the hardware? The biggest supplier of ASIC miners is Bitmain. Now, if you actually head over to a website, cryptocompare.com, they actually compile a list of different miners, equipment that you can go out and buy, and what their sort of payback period is. So you can see at the top here, the Bitmain Antminer X3 ASIC, which mines Monero coin, actually they're saying pays back in 10 days, which is that is really good. I haven't looked too much into that machine yet myself, but today we're just going to be looking at Bitcoin, because obviously that's the main one. So if we go down this list, you can see here that the actual highest return ratio is actually the Bitmain E9 miner 6.5T Bitcoin miner ASIC. Bit of a mouthful, and they're saying that the average price of that machine is 980 US dollars, and that gives you a hash rate of 6,300 gigahashes per second. But the most commonly and widely available one, because I believe this one's a bit harder to get hold of, we're going to head over to the Bitmain website. So we're going to head over to the Bitmain website and we're going to have a little look into how much it costs for us to get hold of this equipment. So if I highlight just the SHA-256, that's all we're looking at in this video, how much it costs to mine Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's algorithm is SHA-256. Now you can see here they have S9, the S9i, the T9, the T9 Plus, B9. Out of all of these, the most powerful one is actually the S9i, which offers 14 terahashes per second. Some of these other batches offer 13.5 terahashes per second. Some of them offer 10. Some of them offer 4, one offers 10.5. Again, quite a wide variety there of different miners that offer different amounts of power. Obviously, you have to sort of weigh up I could go through and make a video for each one of these, what their profitability and how long it would take to mine one whole Bitcoin, which if that's something you're interested in seeing, please comment down below or give this video a thumbs up. But today we're going to be looking at generally considered across the board as the most profitable. That's because it's one of the most energy efficient and also offers the most terahash power. So we're going to be looking at the Antminer S9i 14 terahashes. Now, if you was to buy one of these back in 2017, especially towards the end of 2017, like I was going to do, these machines were going to set you back about $3,500 US. If you could get hold of one. They were sold out everywhere. A lot of people had to resort to Amazon and eBay, and people were just bumping the prices up massively. Now, Bitmain, it was about $1,200 or something in that region at the time, but they were continuously sold out, and if you ordered one, it wouldn't be delivered. The shipping time was about 4 months. People were only starting to receive their miners that they paid for back in December time last year. They only started to receive them only a month or two ago. But the price has come down dramatically since then, and I feel this is because the difficulty has gone up a lot and people are starting to realise actually it isn't as profitable to mine using these machines anymore. But let's have a little look, because we're not looking at profitability wise, we're looking at, we just want one bit. That's the goal, not the profitability back into US dollars. So we've got a Antminer S9 at 763 US dollars, and that comes with the power supply unit as well. Now again, before you had to buy these separately, so you would pay about $1,200, $1,500, even $3,000 for one of these machines back at the end of last year, and then you would have to buy the power supply unit, the thing that actually plugs into the wall, separately, and that was about $120. Then you also have to pay shipping. So now obviously the price is 763 US dollars plus say the shipping. Right, so I've come over to the Bitmain website and I've gone through to the checkout process, and you can see here the actual unit is 673 US dollars. We also have a shipping cost. Now I'm actually based in Great Britain. These guys are based in China from what I understand, so they've got to send the unit, which is obviously quite a big unit. They're quite hefty machines. The total price there would be $179 US dollars and 94 cents. That's for the shipping cost. So all in total, this machine, to get it from them to me, is going to set me back $942.94. So let's bear that figure in mind when we're doing our calculations. The two main websites that I like to check are coinwars.com and mycryptobuddy.com. So we're looking at a machine with 14 terahashes per second. That's the current difficulty, that's the current block reward, and it says here the current price as of recording this video is $6,186 US dollars. The power consumption on it in watts, we head over to, this is the specifications of an Antminer S9i, and the 14 terahash version has a watt consumption of 1320, so 1320 watts. So let's put that into our calculator, and we're going to base our calculations on that workings out that we done earlier of the average European and American of 18 cents per kilowatt hour. So to work out the actual pool fees, you can see here I've just come over to a website called buybitcoinworldwide.com. They've done like an average a comparison of the different types of pools. You can see here that btc.com is actually the highest pool, which is predominantly all based in China, 81% of it based in China. But let's have a little look at the pool fees. So the lowest we have here is actually a zero pool fee, but this is a private pool. So we're going to base it on an average of these here, which I would say is about 1 to 1.5%. We've got one here which is 2, 2, 1, 1. So let's base it on 1.5% pool fees. That gives us a nice average of what pool fee you're going to join. Right, so we've put in 14 terahashes worth of power. This is the current difficulty. We have 12.5 block reward. This is the current price of Bitcoin as of today. This is our power consumption. This is our power cost, and on average between a European and American, 18 US dollar cent per kilowatt hour. And we have an average pool fee of 1.5% with a rejection rate of 0. This is what it's going to cost you to mine a Bitcoin. So we have down here, you can see here hourly, daily, weekly and monthly. Now forgetting the profit that you can see here, because we're not trying to work this out in profit terms. Bitcoin price could go up, down, and it'll be more or less profitable on a daily basis. We just want to mine one whole Bitcoin. That is the goal here. We're not doing this to be profitable in the short term. We want one whole Bitcoin. So currently, to mine over the whole month a Bitcoin using an Antminer S9i 14 terahashes, you're going to mine 0.0205 of a Bitcoin over the course of 1 month. Now in US dollar terms, how much that's worth is 126 US dollars. But the actual costs of mining that 0.02 Bitcoin is actually 171, and that's based on the power consumption and the average price of US dollar. So if I was to change this, let's say we put that down to 12, you can see there that the average cost has gone down to 114 US dollars. So let's put it back up to 18. We need to work out then, well, how long is it going to take us to mine one whole Bitcoin? So if we're mining 0.0205 of a Bitcoin, let's divide one whole Bitcoin, and we're going to divide that into 0.0205, and that's going to equate to 48.7 months based on today's difficulty and obviously price of Bitcoin as it is. So let's times that by $171.07. It's actually going to cost you 8,331 US dollars in electricity, and that actually gives you a figure of 8,331 US dollar. Now on top of that, we have to include the actual machine cost, because this is just taking into account the pool fees and the electricity costs. So we have to add in obviously the hardware costs, what it costs for us to get that machine in the first place. So we're going to add that in, and that was $942.94. So now we have a total of 9,274 US dollar. Now obviously this is a lot higher than the price of a Bitcoin at the moment, so you would actually be 3,000 US dollar out of pocket actually trying to mine one whole Bitcoin. If you had this sum of money, you're better off to just buy one whole Bitcoin on an exchange as it is at the moment, if you believe the price was to go up. Now this brings me back to my point of the cloud mining. You can see why cloud mining has actually come to a halt, because it actually costs more to mine one Bitcoin. So let's play a little bit of devil's advocate here. Let's say that you're paying 3 cents, because I have heard on the internet of people paying 3 cents for their electricity per kilowatt per hour. With the lowest pool fee at 1%, total monthly outgoings is dramatically different. So you're actually going to be paying $28.50 per month to mine the same 0.0206 of a Bitcoin. So we're going to do 1 divided by 0.0206, and you can see there the actual how many months it takes us has dropped slightly. It's 48.5, so still 4 years. We're going to times that by $28.51, and that gives us a total spend of $1,383. Now let's say that you got the machine and the power unit at a cheaper rate than what obviously you can buy it for today. Let's say you paid 700 US dollars, and that included shipping and everything like that. So we're gonna plus $700. That would actually give you a total spend of mining one whole Bitcoin at 2,083 US dollars. That is awesome. If you can achieve those sort of figures, then my hat goes off to you. That would take you 4 years to mine one whole Bitcoin, and obviously it would be well in profit if Bitcoin was to stay the same price it is today at 6,100, and if the difficulty was to stay the same. Now let's put this into this little graph that my crypto buddy actually uses for us. So I've actually put in 49 months here to mine one whole Bitcoin. I can't put in 48.5, so still 4 years. You can see this graph here, how much Bitcoin we mine until we get to the tip, which you can see here is 1.01 of a Bitcoin. That's the closest I could get it. So you would have one whole Bitcoin if you started mining today by the 4th of July 2022. That's in 4 years time. Now what you have to bear in mind is that this is all based off the difficulty staying as it is. Now if the difficulty goes up 10% one month, the amount of Bitcoin that you're going to mine in that month will go down by 10%. So whereas we're looking at 0.0206 a month, just for argument's sake, to make it nice and easy, divide that by 10, you're going to lose that amount off. So let's just remember that figure. So if you were mining 0.0206 and we're going to minus off 0.00206. So if the difficulty went up 10% one month, which as we've seen recently has gone up sort of 14-15% within a fortnight, the difficulty seems to change every 14 days. So potentially you have 2 difficulty changes within a period of 1 month. So if both of those are pluses, like increased difficulty, obviously the amount of Bitcoin you're going to mine is going to drop that much because it's going to be that much harder. And obviously your machine is still chugging out 14 terahashes per day. You have to take that into account. So now within the course of a month, if Bitcoin went up 10%, now we're only mining 0.01854 of a Bitcoin. Now let's just say that we want to work out, well Glenn, what would it take to mine a Bitcoin at today's prices? So if you was to buy one whole Bitcoin at 6,186, but instead of doing that you wanted to mine it, let's have a little look. You would have to, we would do 6,186 US dollars minus 942, because that's what it costs for the machine, 5,244 US dollars. We're going to divide that by the 49 months, and you would need to spend no more than 107 US dollars per month on electricity. So $107, what does that look like per kilowatt hour? Let's put this at 10, 11, 12, 11, 5. There we go. So if you were paying 11 cents per kilowatt hour for your electricity, whatever country you're in, and the current price of Bitcoin stays the same and the current difficulty stays the same, you would actually be mining one whole Bitcoin the exact same price as what it would be to buy one today, but it would take you 4 years to do that. So yet again, in my mind, it's very clear that it's just better to just buy one whole Bitcoin. But maybe you're in this for the long game. So obviously some of us haven't got 6,100, I know I haven't, to just buy one whole Bitcoin today. So we could actually buy one of these machines, pay the $100 per month if you can afford that, and you can slowly over time, over the course of 4 to 5 years, mine one whole Bitcoin, which you would have never have got. Now if that Bitcoin obviously goes up in price, you're massively in profit at that point. The difficulty is very hard to work out because some fortnights it goes down, some fortnights it goes up. Let's say Bitcoin goes up 10% every month. You can see here that the difficulty rating to mine that Bitcoin keeps going up and up and up and up and up. So this would be the difficulty at the time, and this is how much Bitcoin you would actually mine. So by the end of it, by the end of the 4 years, Bitcoin keeps going up 10%. You would have only mined 0.2 of a Bitcoin. You will only mine 20%, obviously what I've worked out. It's my honest opinion that the difficulty is steadily going to rise. There may be some months where it drops, there may be some months where it dramatically goes high, but steadily over time it's going to continuously go up. Therefore, in my mind, I would say it's not worth the aggro, the effort, time to actually mine a Bitcoin. Even if Bitcoin goes up massively in price, because a lot of people talk about this in mining videos. They say, yeah, but if the price of Bitcoin goes up, you're going to be well in profit compared to what you pay electricity, compared to what you pay hardware costs. But if you was to go out and spend $950 on Bitcoin today, you would see that same growth on your $950 without having to spend anything on electricity. If you can just keep buying Bitcoin at, you know, say for this example, $107 a month, you're better off just buying it each month and just putting it away somewhere, store it in a hard wallet, keep it safe. That's my tip. I hope this has been a helpful video, but that sort of gives you an idea of currently what it costs in today's prices and what potentially it could cost you if you had the best of the best electricity prices and you could get the hardware at the cheapest rates. All I'm trying to suggest is that before you go out and spend money on mining equipment, either that's hardware, cloud mining yourself, take this into account. Do your own research. I hope this has been helpful. Please comment down below. What do you think? Where do you see the difficulty going over the next coming years? How long, well, what do you feel is the best way to mine one whole Bitcoin? Why do I say that? Because everyone wants one whole of something. We don't like to have a quarter of something, a third of something, or even a 10 millionth of a something. Everyone wants one whole thing. And I know I personally would like one whole Bitcoin. So it was on my mind. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a video about it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, I'm not a mining expert. So if you are a mining expert, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you agree with what I've said. And if you disagree with me, let me know. Shout out to me. Comment down below. You can also find me on the Telegram group chat, which is in the link again in the description down below. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, all with the name glen, and I will gladly answer any of your questions, give you my honest feedback. With this cryptocurrency channel that I've actually made, I'm all about sort of honesty and integrity. I've tried to be as honest as I can be. Obviously, if I had known what I know today, I would go back and tell the glen of 2017 to do things slightly differently, and I probably would have just bought more Bitcoin and just held on to it. But saying that, obviously Bitcoin has dropped massively in price, so there's no one true answer to it all. There's no one solution. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video from myself, glen. See you later guys, bye.